Rain hammered against the glass walls of the Seoul Tech Tower as a woman darted through the lobby, clutching a soaked folder to her chest. Her heels slipped on the marble floor, and papers scattered everywhere. Not again, she groaned, kneeling to gather them. Just as she reached for the last page, a pair of polished black shoes stopped inches from her hand. She looked up. The man standing before her was impossibly composed. Sharp jawline, sleek black suit, and eyes so cold they could freeze fire. "You dropped something," he said flatly, bending down to pick up a document. His voice carried quiet authority, the kind that made people straighten unconsciously. "Thank you," she said, her Nigerian accent soft but clear. "Sorry for the mess, sir." He scanned the page briefly. "You're applying for an internship?" Her heart skipped. "Why, yes. I'm here for the interview." Amara Nwosu. He arched a brow. "You're late." "I know. My bus broke down, and then the rain." "Excuses waste time," he cut in. "You can come with me." Confused, she followed him into the elevator. He pressed the top floor button without a word. Inside, the silence was unbearable. She could feel his gaze on her, calm yet piercing. When the doors opened, she realized with shock, this wasn't the HR floor. "Sir, isn't this?" He turned slightly. "My office. I'm the one you're supposed to impress." Her mouth fell open. "You're Mr. Lee Hyun-woo, the CEO?" "Unfortunately," he said dryly. Minutes later, she sat nervously across from his massive desk. Rain streaked down the window behind him like silver threads. "Your resume says you studied business administration in Lagos and came here on scholarship," he said, scanning the paper. "Why Korea?" Amara hesitated. "Because this country builds dreams from nothing. I wanted to learn how." He looked up at her, intrigued despite himself. "You're brave. Most foreigners don't survive the corporate world here." "I'm not most foreigners," she replied softly. For the first time, something flickered in his eyes, a spark of respect. "Fine," he said. "You're hired. 3-month trial." Her breath caught. "Really? Thank you, sir." He smirked faintly. "Don't thank me yet. My standards are brutal." The weeks that followed were chaos. Amara worked harder than anyone. Late nights, early mornings, endless coffee. Most staff ignored her, whispering behind her back. "She only got the job because she's foreign," one said. "She'll quit in a week," another scoffed. But she didn't quit. She smiled through exhaustion, through loneliness. Hyun-woo noticed. He never said it, but he noticed everything. How she stayed past midnight, how she solved problems others ignored, how she refused to break. One evening, he found her asleep at her desk. The glow from her computer screen illuminated her face, soft and peaceful. He stood there for a moment, something in his chest shifting. He reached out, gently draped his suit jacket over her shoulders, then turned away quickly as if caught stealing a secret. The next morning, she walked into his office, holding the jacket. "I think you forgot this." He didn't look up from his laptop. "I didn't forget." She frowned. "Then why?" "Because you looked cold," he interrupted, typing fast. "See, we have a problem." That was how their strange rhythm began. Cold commands and warm gestures that contradicted each other completely. He'd scold her for mistakes, then secretly fix them. He'd dismiss her ideas in public, then use them in meetings. Until one day, he couldn't hide it anymore. They were at a company dinner. The team was celebrating a new deal, laughter filling the room. Someone poured Amara a drink, teasing, "Let's see if a Nigerian girl can handle soju." She smiled politely. "Just a little, thank you." The men laughed louder. "Come on, one more glass." Before she could answer, Hyun-woo's voice cut through the noise. She said no. The table fell silent. Everyone turned. Their CEO rarely spoke at these events, and never like that. He stood eyes cold. "She works harder than any of you. If I see anyone disrespect her again, they can find another company." No one dared speak. Later, as the others left, Amara lingered. "You didn't have to defend me," she said softly. He met her gaze. "I didn't do it for you. I did it because I can't stand stupidity." She smirked. "Right. Totally not for me." He exhaled, almost smiling. "Go home, Amara, before I start saying things I shouldn't." Her heart skipped. "Like what?" "Like how your laugh has been stuck in my head all week." Her breath hitched. "Sir." "Go," he said again, voice low but trembling. That night, neither of them slept. From then on, everything changed. His gaze lingered longer during meetings. Their hands brushed too often when passing files. One afternoon, when a thunderstorm darkened the city, the power went out in the office. Everyone panicked except them. In the dim emergency light, they found themselves alone. Amara whispered, "Do you ever get tired of being perfect?" He looked at her. "All the time. Then be real for once." He stepped closer, rain pounding against the windows. Real is dangerous. So is pretending. His breath caught. Amara, before she could respond, the lights flickered back on, saving them from what almost happened. But the silence between them afterward was louder than any confession. The next day, a photo of them leaving the building together appeared online. The caption read, "CEO Lee Hyun-woo's secret affair." By morning, the company was in uproar. Reporters camped outside the building. Hyun-woo called her into his office. His face was unreadable. "They're calling for an investigation." "I didn't do anything wrong," she said, voice trembling. "I know," he replied quietly, "but they'll blame you anyway." Tears filled her eyes. "Maybe I should quit." He slammed his hand on the desk. "You're not quitting." She flinched. He ran a hand through his hair, his voice breaking for the first time. "I can handle the board. I can handle the media. But I can't handle losing you." She looked at him, stunned. "Why?" He met her eyes, raw and unguarded. "Because somewhere between meetings and arguments, I fell in love with you." Her breath caught. "You what?" "I love you, Amara," he said again, the words trembling. "And if I have to choose between my reputation and you, I'll lose everything gladly." Silence. Then, softly, she whispered, "You're insane." He smiled sadly. "Only for you." News spread like wildfire. The board called an emergency meeting. Investors threatened to pull out. Hyun-woo's mother, chairwoman of the company, flew back from the U.S. to confront him. "This woman will destroy everything you built," she shouted. He stood firm. "Then let it burn. You're throwing away your legacy." He looked her straight in the eye. "A legacy without love is just a prison." That night, he walked out of the corporate tower for the last time. Cameras flashed, reporters shouted, but he kept walking straight to Amara's tiny apartment. She opened the door, startled. "Hyun-woo, what are you?" He kissed her, hard and desperate, as if the whole world was collapsing behind him. When they pulled apart, breathless, he whispered, "I don't care what they say. You're my choice." Her tears fell freely. "You gave up everything." He smiled faintly. "No, I finally found something worth having." Months passed. The scandal faded. Hyun-woo started his own tech startup, smaller, humbler, but built with freedom. Amara joined him, managing public relations. Together, they rebuilt what he'd lost and created something new. One evening, he called her to the rooftop where they first met. The city lights flickered below like fallen stars. "What's this?" she asked, laughing. He smiled. "A reminder." He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small box, and opened it. Amara gasped. Inside was a ring, simple and elegant. He took her hand. "When you spilled your papers in that lobby, I thought you were chaos. Turns out you were the best kind." Her voice trembled. "You don't have to do this." "I want to. You turned my world upside down, Amara Nwosu, and I never want it right side up again." She laughed through her tears. "You're terrible at speeches. Then marry me anyway." She nodded, choking back a sob. "Yes." He slid the ring onto her finger, whispering, "You're my forever." And under the neon glow of Seoul's skyline, their lips met, soft, certain, unstoppable. Months later, their wedding photo went viral online. Not because of who they were, but because of what they represented. A Korean CEO and a Nigerian woman standing side by side, smiling like the world finally made sense. In the background of the photo was a quote engraved on the wall of their company. "Love is not a scandal. It's revolution." As the video faded to black, Amara's voice narrated softly. "Sometimes love finds you where you least expect it, in chaos, in rain, in the heart of someone you were never supposed to meet. And when it does, don't run. Let it rewrite your story." If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.